Hello and welcome everybody to the lovely webinar on retail culture. And I want to talk to you about Christmas and beyond because we are almost at the end of the year. So I want to start talking about what can happen in 2022 and looking forward to a very different, hopefully, new year with a retail culture that's installed within your salons and spas and accounts that you're looking after. So you can say hello on the chat. Please do comment anything you want to comment on the chat. Do utilize it throughout this webinar. I'm here to answer any questions you might have, any comments you might have. It's very important that we do connect and you leave this webinar feeling empowered to enjoy end of the year and also start structuring what we want for 2022. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Always wait a few more minutes just in case anyone else is joining us. Throughout the webinar, I'm going to ask you a few polls, so there'll be a few questions in between as well. So do interact, do let us know where you are at in terms of the questions I'll be asking. Not too many, not difficult. We just want to get some feedback from you. We would just want to understand where you are at as a wonderful comfort zone supplier, etc. So we are very, very excited today, and I am very excited to talk to you all the way from London in the UK. And I have been, I guess I need to introduce myself a little bit for those who haven't joined us on the last session. My name is Valérie Delforge. I'm an international business strategist consultant. I do mentoring, I do coaching on a one-to-one level. And I guess I've started my my career with brands such as Clarins, L'Occitane, Bliss, which was a big American brand, into the UK. So very much worked in the UK, but 8 years ago, I set up my consultancy agency, and I'm now supporting a lot of salon and spa owners to grow their business. And one of the growth is through retail training. I'm so excited to talk about retail. I have a wonderful trainer that goes out there to empower the teams, and we are here to support you into how we can grow those teams and how we can ensure that they are always thinking retail. And right now, I'd like to know, how long have you been working with Comfort Zone for? So we're going to launch a little poll here, and my lovely assistant is going to do that. It's all very technical today. So if we can know, how long have you been working with Comfort Zone for? That would be amazing. So there should be a little launch of the questionnaire, and all I want to know is how long you've been working for. Comfort Zone, is it under 2 years? Is it 2 or 5 years? Or is it more than 8 years, which would be really, really good to know. And for us, what's important to understand when we come to retail culture is that we want to install that retail focus, because what we have realized from what's happening within the salons, within the spa, is that the client, and this was very much my last session with Comfort Zone, the client is very much focusing on coming in for beautiful treatment. They're not really here to think retail and to talk retail. They're here to enjoy a wonderful treatment. So we want to make sure that we are impacting them on also focus on products, which is difficult because the client journey is never about them enjoying a product. It's much more about them enjoying a beautiful treatment. So when we talk about the retail culture and how to install that retail culture, we want to ensure that we've really focused on that customer journey. So the question that I want to ask you as well is, are you a team member of a distributor or subsidiary? So really, please answer those questions so I can know who I'm talking to and when, what is happening in your life, so we know exactly where we are at and who we are talking together. So It's about, yeah, 6 minutes past. So let's start the webinar to see where we are at and what are we doing for today. And for me, it's very, very important to give you a little agenda. We're going to talk about the challenges that we're currently facing when it comes to the retail culture. We're looking at revisiting a little bit of Brenda and Nancy's journey. If you remember, I talked to you about the journey of Brenda, who's your existing existing client who's been with the business for a long time. She knows everything about the salon. She knows everything about the staff member, but she doesn't really get the retail side of things. She's just very much into her product treatments, and that's it. And then we've also got Nancy, who's your brand new customer, who's really interested in much more of understanding that, I'm coming in, I don't know anything about you, and I'm going to hopefully enjoy my journey with you. And then what I want to know as well is where we are at with 2022. What are we going to talk about? Let's look at Christmas as well. Let's get the Christmas sparkle. Sorry, I've got a couple of things going on here with my screen. That's why I'm a little bit frazzled, but I'm going to answer those questions. We've got kind of 50-50, isn't it? 50% of you are distributors, 55%, and the rest is subsidiary. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to talk about Christmas as well, and we are going to talk about 2022. So as I said, do ask me any questions as we go along to the presentation. But first, I'd like to talk to you about the challenge, the main challenge that we are getting from installing a retail culture, from trying to get those therapists, those lovely therapists who are wonderful at delivering treatments. And when we do mystery shop, we never have an issue with treatments. The treatment, very rarely, the treatments usually are good. It's just once it comes to retail, it's actually not happening as much as it should be. So the product recommendation does not happen. The training has very little impact or no impact within the team. And the priorities really, let's face it, are the treatments. And that's the difficulty. I need to tell you, I went to and as you know, I do like stories. I went to a spa the other day. It wasn't even a mystery shop. It was just to enjoy myself with a friend. We just decided, let's go and have a lovely spa day. And I'm trying to switch off, and it's difficult, isn't it, when you're in the industry to really properly switch off. But it was a very nice environment, brand new spa. It was beautiful, but I kind of felt the therapist was she had some kind of retail training, and to be fair on her, she did recommend me something, but she'd done it so badly, there's no way I would have actually bought something. And why she done it badly is because she asked me 2 questions before my treatment, and those 2 questions were, what pressure would you like, and have you used this brand before? And that was it. And I said, no, I've never used it. And she said, okay, don't worry don't worry already. The word worry, don't worry is actually, well, I am going to worry. Now you've told me not to worry. I will worry. That's how we think as a customer. And I'm thinking, okay, don't worry about what? She said, I will do a really nice treatment, and you'll enjoy it, and it'll be wonderful. So no question about me, not trying to know me. I'm brand new to your business, nothing. And really at the end of the treatment, she sat me down, beautiful treatment, and she said to me, here's the list of everything I've used. And it was a big list of all the things that she's used through a catalogue, I guess, and tick of the products that she had used. And I thought, okay, this is not great, because obviously she's not engaging me in anything. And on top of that, by the end of it, she said to me, I know that you've got you've got dry eyes around the eyes area, so I recommend the eye cream in particular. And with the eye cream, I think you need to use it once or twice a day. And I thought, you've not even asked me if that's what I'm looking for. I have 20 eye cream at home. I don't need an extra eye cream. Maybe I'm doing something wrong within my routine. So to be fair on her, there was some kind of thoughts about retail, but it was really badly done. I've just woken up from an amazing treatment, and she's just literally given me a catalogue of products that had no impact on me whatsoever, and if any case kind of was a bit annoying. And by the time I went to relax, she came back to me and she said, I had a check on the price of the eye cream and it's £69. So she's forcing that item upon me. She doesn't even know the price before she's showing me the eye cream, and it's just lost because I've got a lot at home. So she's not interested in me as a client. She's more interested in the product to sell. And to be fair, she did recommend something, which is like, hello, a miracle. But a lot of time we don't recommend. A lot of time we find that the training is very difficult. You have some therapists that maybe gets it, and you have some others that are a little bit like this one, trying her hardest to get it, but actually is not managing. So I'd like to ask you a little question before we carry on. Do you find that product recommendations is difficult? You know, yes, selling seems to be difficult for all my accounts. No, I find that they are all engaged in the retail culture, or maybe half of my accounts are like that. I want to know, do you find that product recommendation is difficult? Let me know, please. That would be amazing to find out where you are at with your accounts. We did a mystery shop. This one was an actual mystery shop, and I came in as a, you know, it's a big place in London. It's got a restaurant, it's got a hairdresser, it's got a beauty salon, it's got a clinic, you know, very big place. And the owner was saying to me, you know, don't worry, we're doing quite well. We just want the retail culture, but it'd be nice for you to get feedback from the mystery shop. And actually went from one disaster to another, which tends to be like that when we do mystery shop. And one of the disaster was that I was recommended 0 products at all. Throughout the whole of the journey, which was everything to do with manicure, pedicure, wax. I had a massage, I had a facial, no product recommendation in any way, shape or form. There was not even, you know, even though they have a beautiful retail area, only when I did my hair, the hairdresser did recommend something, which was good, and she recommended it well. But when I got to reception, it was nowhere to be seen. The receptionist didn't know I had a product recommended, and the hairdresser was already thinking of something else. So it just got really messy when it came to that. So if you have answered the question, do you find that product recommendation is difficult? We would like to know at the moment. So 21% of you is saying that yes, selling is difficult for my accounts. So it is tend to be a majority like that, but actually, no, you find that they engage in a culture. 32% of you find that they engage in a retail culture. That's wonderful, because that means we can do more and more work with them. We can really inspire them, and hopefully I'm going to give you a few pointers today on how to inspire them even more. Because I used to say to my teams, you know, if you can sell even more when it's Christmas time and things like that, because you've got that mindset around retail. And maybe half of you, the accounts are like that. So 47% of you are thinking that half of your accounts are kind of not really selling, it's not really happening. So we know it's an issue. We know there's a few issues when it comes to that client recommendation, isn't it? When it comes to really trying to connect with the therapist and understanding their role as a whole, that their role is all about making sure that they recommend the products as much as they are recommending the treatments, which is very, very important. So what solutions do we have as obviously distributor or subsidiary? We want to create a retail culture, but what we have found when we do the retail training with the team, if we go in and talk to the team and do a rah-rah training and really empower the teams, even when we do the training online, we realize that actually the team on their own is not enough. We need to create that retail culture with the owner. or the managers. We need to get them inspired, because if they are inspired, if they feel on top of things when it comes to retail culture, you will find that the team will be as well. And you will find that they will engage the team more. So it's giving them ideas. They're craving ideas of all sorts of things that they can do around retail. We want to generate fun around retail. The minute retail becomes a difficult conversation, then it just becomes, oh, it just can't be bothered to retail when it comes to the team. So the whole fun around retail, the energy of retail is really, really important. And especially when you go to a spa and it's all very relaxed and it's all very, beautiful music, the energy of retail needs to be there. I'm not saying we're going to put loud music and making sure that everyone's dancing around retail, but there are ways of engaging those teams around retail and have fun with it. And I want to give you some ideas in a minute. Constantly recenter their mindset. If they have a bad day, it doesn't mean they're going to have a bad week. If they have a bad week, it doesn't mean they're going to have a bad month. If they're going to have a bad month, it doesn't mean they're going to have a bad quarter. But obviously, if they have a bad quarter, that's a different perspective. Maybe there's an issue with the way they're functioning, in the way they perform. And that's a chat with the manager of giving them solutions on how we can help these therapists to get better. At retail training, we want to give them ideas. The owners are craving ideas. They're so busy on a day-to-day operation. They're so busy on everything that they need to do that by the time it comes to retail culture, they're just like, just give me some ideas, because I don't really know what I want to do with my team anymore, or I've done this and actually it didn't work anymore. And one thing that we're doing a lot here at the Delphos Group with my members and with the training, we want to celebrate the wins. The more we celebrate the wins, the better. And by that, it's, a big tap on the back saying, well done, you've done really well. So one thing I used to do when I was head of spa operation for Steiner, I used to get the managers, the spa managers, to send me, at the time we didn't have WhatsApp, believe it or not, to send me an email every evening of who had a great sale. So maybe you want to engage the owners on saying, look, when you've got someone who's had a really good sale, I don't know, £200 or €200 or $200 or more, you will send me an email. I want to encourage that therapist. Well done, you've done really well. What made you do that? How did you manage to get that sale? Talk to me through what happened there, because it's so good. The more we celebrate and we encourage that therapist, even someone who doesn't sell much, but suddenly she's getting a little bit more sales, we want to celebrate those wins. We want to say, well done. We want to say, do you know what? I'm here for you, and I'm here to make sure that you are completely engaged constantly. And I'm noticing you. I'm noticing that you're doing well. I'm noticing that you are really focused on what needs to be done. And consistency is the key. And that's what we find when we do the retail culture program. We want a 3-month program because we want that consistency. We want it to carry on. It's not just a one-off and off I go. It's consistent in the way I talk about retail, in the way I deliver retail, in the way I empower the team. To us is very, very important. Before we go any further on giving you more ideas, I want us to take a little step back. And if you remember, the first training we had was all about that client journey, and all about, like I've just told you about those mystery shop, or my experience on the previous last week. It is about the client journey. At the end of the day, how can she sell me an eye cream when she's not even asked me, what are your main concern? What are you currently using at the moment? Because I want to know that you're using an eye cream, because maybe A, is not the right eye cream. And if I have 20 eye cream at home, but I've still got dry eyes, something is happening in my routine. So I can help the client to make sure that she's using the correct routine. But, it's important to go back and step back and think of the client journey. So I think as a distributor, as a subsidiary, it's really important to perhaps work with the owner on that client journey in order for that retail sales culture to happen, in order for things to happen. Now, what we do say what we do say is that there are 4 needs of a client, and we know that the client, and this is to do with marketing, you can use that for marketing, we can use that for retail culture, we can use that for retail training. The client needs 4 things. They need a fair price, they need a good service, they need a good product, but also they need to feel valued. The minute the client feels all of those, the minute they will come back. So we have the client loyalty. You have the client that feels absolutely amazing. And this is where it's difficult for the therapist to think about that, because as a therapist, perhaps their wages is much lower. So if they look at a product at £60 or €60 or €100, they think, oh my God, that's too much money. They're going to spend €100, and on top of that, they spend €130 in the treatment, and on top of that, they're spending money in a restaurant. That's going to be €300. For them, it feels really high, but for us, we know that the client is going to feel valued. We know that the client, the minute they have a good product, they don't mind the investment. So with Comfort Zone and the amazing ethos we have around Comfort Zone, the amazing value that Comfort Zone is offering, we have that good product and we have the good service with the incredible treatments. So really that in itself makes it a fair price, because I'm paying for what I feel, not I'm paying for what for a bad service. When we have a bad service, a bad treatment, then that money makes sense, isn't it? Then that money, I'm not happy to give you that money, because that is a bad service and it's a bad kind of product as far as I'm concerned. But if we have all of this, and your clients will have when they have Comfort Zone, we know we answer those needs of those clients, and that to us is one of the most important things. So remember, you can ask me any question on the chat, yeah? So I want you to start to take a step back, to get them to learn that customer journey and really go back to that customer journey. We did a webinar not long ago, and we were talking about the customer journey being as sterile as the PPE. So the PPE being all the masks and the visors and everything else. Sometimes you go somewhere and you feel that it's so cold and so unfriendly, and the team is very focused on making everything right, that actually we forget about that client. We're not having that client feeling wonderful. And the minute we have that, the customer journey is really suffering, and the sale is more difficult and less prominent within that time with the salon. For the client. So we need to teach that retail mindset, teach the therapist to be concerned for the outcome. If the therapist is concerned for the skin of the client, if she was really truly concerned by my eyes being so dry, not that I'm panicking or anything, but she did tell me a couple of times, even though that wasn't concerned before I started my treatment with her, but apparently I've got very dry eyes. Maybe I'm not doing something right in my routine, and maybe she's not asked me the right question. If she was concerned for me and my eyes, she should have asked me, instead of saying you need to use the cream because that cream is going to be good for you because you've got dry eyes. Okay, so you say, but you've not really engaged me in that conversation. Her main thing should have been, what are you currently using around the eyes area? Tell me, what do you do on a daily basis? Because I work a lot on the computer, so maybe it's the light that is really not good for my eyes. Maybe it's the fact that I'm getting older, and that's okay, not that I'm bitter or anything, but maybe it's because we need to engage that client. Maybe if she had engaged me, maybe I would have listened to her. And maybe she's brought me into the whole idea of exfoliation and mask around the eyes area. Maybe I would have bought into it a little bit more. So if we teach the therapist the concern for the client and the outcome and what we want them to have, you'll find that the therapist recommends rather than sell. We teach empathy. Oh, I feel for you. You're on the computer a lot. I understand. understand that that can be really harmful with your glasses, etc., for the eyes, around the eye, around the skin around the eyes. So absolutely. So we're going to teach them empathy. It's not robotic. We don't want sales techniques to be robotic. Sales techniques are not sufficient anymore. We need more than sales technique. We need to feel really concerned for that client, and the fact that we want them to have the best result by the time we leave that salon or that spa is very, very important. We want them to teach to listen to opportunities, and that happens again and again. So when I was doing the mystery shop in the big place, you know, they had ample of opportunities to get me engaged as a client. I said to them, I was normally, I don't have time. I'm a very busy entrepreneur. You know, I always quite like having a bit of a story when I go into the mystery shop. I'm a busy entrepreneur and I don't have time. So normally my PA secures a whole day for me, full of treatment. And normally I go to Knightsbridge. Now, if you live in London, you will know Knightsbridge is where money is. I've got a PA. I'm working very hard. You know, I'm normally going to Knightsbridge for my treatment, but I came in to have some food with my friends and I saw you were doing everything. So I thought I'll try you out. I mean, I'm giving you a lot of opportunities here. Not only I've got money, not only I'm a disposable income, not only I'm local. I told them I was local. Not only I'm telling you that I'm buying everything on the one go. This was about £400 worth of treatment, about €450 worth of treatment. Like, we should be listening to opportunity. And I said that to every single staff member that was looking after me. So that teaching opportunity, maybe you need to do quizzes for your account. Maybe you want to give them ideas of how to listen to opportunities. Maybe a few like that. Like, this is a classic example. What could you do with this client? What can you hear with this client? How can we engage her even more? If she's brand new to my salon, she's a brand new Nancy, and she's coming to us to try. Surely she's trying to find somewhere where she can come monthly. When I left, I even said it to the receptionist, and the receptionist said, goodbye, see you. So that means we are not really engaging the clients from the start. So we've got here from Barbara, empathy and care are also very linked to our culture. I love that, Barbara, and it should be, isn't it? It's so important because your culture becomes their culture. So to me, it's very, very important that we are really teaching them those opportunities and listening. Even if you're not selling me anything on my first visit, you're engaging me in the salon and in the spa, and therefore it means that I'm really wanting to get into that culture of who you are and that empathy. If we teach to make the customer feel special, then already we're halfway there. Already the customer journey, the retail can happen, because we need to remember, I'm not going behind a counter, you know, to a counter in a big department store to ask for product or maybe some advice. I'm coming in for treatment. I'm not coming in for products. So we need to kind of engage that client in the world that the spa has designed, in the salon that is the culture of the salon, and then the client will be more at ease, more relaxed, and asking more about what's going on with the retail, or you know, be more inclined to listen to the therapist. We need to teach them to make the customer part of the decision making process. Now, when we say that on the retail program that we do, you know, we get the customer to feel really, you know, we get the therapist, you know, to really understand that if the customer makes a decision themselves, we're not selling to them as such. So, for example, if she had handled me much better with my eyes, you know, maybe I would have made a decision to purchase an exfoliator and a mask, or maybe I would have made a decision because she would have engaged me in that conversation. So when the customer is engaged and is part of the decision-making process, then we've got a winning combination, because the customer knows that we are basically engaged with them. And then we should teach our therapists, our lovely therapists, to have follow-up calls or follow-up we had a wonderful sale, €200 worth of selling. I want to call this lady in 7 days. Put it in my diary so I can call her. Let's teach and follow call. Let's be concerned. Are you using the products correctly? You know, we have a whole new routine. How are you getting on with it? From Jeanette here, agree. However, in the Middle East, there is hierarchy and therapists often too benevolent. I agree. In the Middle East, yes, I have a couple of clients in Saudi Arabia and also in Egypt, and I have to say, yes, it's a slightly different option. But then what is the option then? What can you do in order to encourage that retail culture? Maybe it's the receptionist we need to focus on if it's like that. Maybe it's more about understanding, and with one of my clients, this is what we've done, she has a beautiful retail, she's in Saudi Arabia, beautiful retail place, you know, stunning. So the receptionists are the one we're focusing on, because the therapists are not really able to do that for the nails and the feet. However, she has got therapists that are advanced skin therapists. They're the one on the retail program. So it depends a little bit on who you have within the spa. Because this particular client, for example, so the therapists that are doing the manicures and pedicures and the waxing, etc., we're not really focusing on retail, but we've really focused retail on reception, managers, and definitely the skincare specialist that she brought in, a couple from South Africa, actually. So it does depend on the structure of the place for sure. So it's something that you should be looking at, Jeanette, when you go into your accounts, perhaps, and I'm sure you do that, perhaps what is the structure? Who can we zoom in order to get that culture be part of what we want to do in order to increase that retail sale? So what does the client need is also a very, very important aspect. They need to understand the face behind the mask. A lot of time, you know, we have the therapists in the UK, we still have the therapists with the mask or the visors. They don't have to, but a lot of them keep it. So we need to be even more getting the therapist to be even more focused on how to communicate. Because if I can't see your face, I only see your mouth and I only see your eyes. Obviously, my communication needs to be even more prominent, you know, with the hands, with the sitting down, with nodding of the head, you know. So we're teaching them that because we're allowing the therapist to be more interactive even more. Maybe the words are being more, you know, prominent when we talk to the client. So we have got that effect as well. Totally agree on retail space. We have developed it for comfort zone, so it speaks to you. Amazing, that's so good. As it's being across another challenge of that language. I agree with you, Jeanette. It's not an easy kind of way, it's a different way of interacting with the client. But I have to say, the Middle East clients do purchase a lot, however. So if we do look at the retail space and how to entice, and that's through when we talk about retail culture, we talk about the merchandising, the marketing, you know, anything to do with reception. That's the retail culture, the retail 360, and that's what we've got to focus on. We need to look as well what the clients needs. It's a new style of communication because of all the PPE, because of the therapists, you know, being perhaps a little bit busier, so they focus on the cleaning, etc. How can we communicate from the therapist to the client? What can we do in that customer journey to make sure the customer journey is on point so the client feels comfortable? So I did go to another mystery shop where before my treatment, I was taken into a room and it was just me and my therapist. We were sitting on the same eye level and I had a consultation. Now the consultation could have been a little bit more depth. It was very focused on just one-sided and she wasn't generic enough. But it was good because the way she'd done it and the way where we were was really excellent. And when I talked to the owner, she said, we created this space. We didn't have this space, but because of COVID, we made those little consultation areas where the therapist could sit down and the client feels comfortable. And actually this way we're getting more information from the client so the therapist can sell more. So we love that. We really love that new style of communication. We want social interaction as clients. And one of the biggest marketing campaign that we did over my members, over the clients I'm looking for, we call the clients. So I get my clients to call their clients. So for example, clients that haven't been into the spa for the past 6 months, new clients that I haven't rebooked. So far, in October, we were focusing on the VIP clients that spend a lot of money that haven't booked for Christmas. Call them, call them, call them. There's an element for some reason that the email, the social media, everything else is good, but they're calling the clients to confirm, I haven't seen you for a while, how are you? Did you want to book in? We're getting busy for the busy periods. That somehow has been one of the most successful marketing campaign, really getting to socially interact on the phone has been absolutely, absolutely powerful. Customer loyalty engagement is also very, very important. What we also want is making the C word, not coronavirus word, but we want to have the C word for Christmas. Obviously, in the countries that we celebrate Christmas, we need to talk about Christmas. My trainer went to do a mystery shop, and she said, Valerie, all they kept talking about was the virus and the vaccine, and it was so deflating. She came in for eyebrow shape and do a lot of things, and she said it was so deflating. By the end of it, I came back and I thought, I just didn't want to talk about the virus. I'm talking, I'm listening, I've got Twitter, I've got everything that tells me about the virus. I don't want to talk about the virus. So what we're doing with the training at the moment is we get them to really focus into the whole Christmas conversation, or conversation that away from it all. Another thing as well, I had a therapist that telling me about a boyfriend and her troubles, and that's, again, it's not something I never necessarily want to learn as a client, but somehow they tend to do that. So what can we do as a distributor and Sub3? What can we do? Are we thinking about things differently for our lovely accounts? Consultations. We just had a retail training, and one of the owners said to me, well, at the end of the day, we've got a lot of objections, and you didn't go through the objections. No, because I think that if we have objections, there's something that hasn't happened at consultation level. There's something you have not actually thought of at consultation level, so you've not engaged that client. So the client will keep giving you barriers. So you need to think of other things in order to get her engaged for perhaps the next time, or maybe another treatment. But maybe if you've got so many barriers, so many objections, somewhere along the line, there's an issue with the consultation. And then for us, we say in the UK, the devil is in the detail. Creating small changes to improve the client journey makes a huge difference to how the client feel, and the client feeling relaxed, comfortable. If they're feeling really like they are with a team of experts, I guarantee you that they are more likely to spend. That is absolutely for sure. And for you, Jeanette, in the Middle East, if you look at the client journey within that retail area, you will find that the small details will make a huge difference. So I had a client who did a mystery shop for an award, and she said one of the things in a mystery shop was the fact that they were serving tea in a very small cup. So she felt that a bit kind of the mystery shopper felt a little bit, well, that's just, may as well not have a cup. And actually, my client said, you know what, those cups, we had them for so long, we've not really updated the cups, and that was a good point. So it's a tiny detail that is not going to affect necessarily the client in the long run, but it does affect even subconsciously, and the client will feel the difference. That's why we love 5-star hotels, because the detail is there, isn't it? The detail is so key. And encourage through videos and virtual communication. Now, I want to tell you a story of a business development manager that I know, and she said to me, Valerie, do you know what I'm doing at the moment? I'm doing little videos on Zoom, and I then send them the video on an email, and I personalize it to my account. And she said the feedback I got from that was so wonderful, because the accounts are so used to Zoom now. They're so used to video. They don't really read anymore as such. She said, I wanted to encourage perhaps a sell, because she gets the accounts to send them the good sales throughout the month. And then she said, instead of doing an email to the team, because she can't visit every single account, what she does is she does a personalized video and she sends it to the owner, and the owner plays it to the team, or she plays it to the person that won that prize, or she pays it. She talks about the incentives that are coming up. And it was just such a simple style of communication, fairly new, but all the owner has to do is press a button and it's a video of the lovely business development manager. And she said to me, the feedback was just so strong that I carried on doing it. And she said it's just easy for her. She takes 3 minutes to do the video, send it to the account, and it's more personalized. It's more, you know, sometimes they can't take a phone call. Sometimes you don't have time to make the phone call, but it gives them that engagement, really. And I love that. I think that's brilliant. I think WhatsApp sometimes just becomes a little bit, if you have WhatsApp, you know, with your accounts, sometimes becomes a little bit too impersonalized, but the videos are absolutely great. Oh, okay. So we're going to do some, yes, so the one exercise that we need to do and look at is really before and after and during their visit. And I strongly advise for you to do it with your accounts. This is an exercise that we love doing with the accounts, especially when we start the retail culture. You know, how is the client greeting? How do they move in the business? What does the goodbye look like? How are we continuing to engage with the client in a long term? So you can sit down with a team, you can separate them in 3 if they're big enough team, and you can then, right, think about the client before they come into the spa, the client during the spa visit or the salon visit, and after they visited us. And they write down the customer journey. They decide on the customer journey together. And that's so, so strong, because then it becomes a really strong focus for the team, and they buy into that customer journey. So I want to know, and I actually forgot one question earlier, but we're going to do this question right now. Thank you, my lovely technical people. Have you taught the team to focus on the client journey? I would like to know that. If you could answer on the poll, that would be amazing. I would love to know, have you taught the team to focus on the client journey? The more we do that, the more you'll find that they understand that client feels wonderful. So yes, I created a specific training. No, I didn't have time. Not sure what to do. It'd be nice to know. It's a good way for us to gauge what more training we want to focus on. Just going to take a few sip of water whilst you answering that poll. Thank you. Thank you. That's what it's like when we're talking a lot. So it's important for us to really get them to learn about that customer journey, understand the customer journey, and feel comfortable in that customer journey. So hopefully you have answered the poll. I can't see that, but hopefully we'll know where you are at. So okay, I've got the answer. I'm so sorry. It's all very technical today. Yes, I've created a specific training. Amazing. 31% of you. Well done. No, I didn't have time. I can't blame you. It is very difficult to have the time to create such training. And also 31% of you is not sure what to do. Amazing. It's so good to have this feedback, because we can really look a little bit more in detail for sure when it comes to that customer journey and helping you to support your accounts on that matter. So let's talk a little bit of Christmas time. Obviously, this is not going to be for everybody as such, because some of you, maybe you don't celebrate Christmas right now. I know in Russia it's a bit later. In Middle East, it might be different, but you might have some expats. But we have got some merchandising rule, and that merchandising rule, as far as I'm concerned, is the same for any season. But somehow at Christmas, it seems to be like a great big mess of loads of presents and things and posters and everything else. So when we teach about merchandising, too many messages kills the message. If we are focusing on too many things, the client is not going to look at it and they're going to leave the premises because it's just too much. So remember that too many messages kills the message. There's definitely one rule we need to focus on, you know, and it is kind of important to really look at that. So I've got another question for you, and it won't be too many after that, I promise you, is are you looking at merchandising when you go into your account? I'm really curious about that, because merchandising is always a little bit of an issue when it comes to accounts. I went to one long ago, and she said, I've got Christmas out, and it was middle of October, because she purchased all the coffres and everything else. And we're like, yeah, okay, right, we haven't had Halloween, which is fine. We don't necessarily celebrate Halloween all the time in the UK. I'm fine with that. But then there was a mountain of gifts and ideas and everything else, and it becomes a bit like a mismatch of everything. And as a client, I just don't look at anything anymore. I'm just not going to look at it. So it's really, really important to get that. So yes, 89% of you look at merchandising, and 11% of you don't, not so much. It's important, as far as I would say, to really encourage that merchandising rule, because sometimes and I'm sure you do see that, some shock horrors when you walk in, you're like, woo, it's like a jumble sale, we call it in the UK. So always think long term. When I talk to my clients, when I talk to my members, I always tell them, think long term. What we want is a bounce back to the business. It's a little bit of an American term that we kind of use, or I use a lot because I've worked with Bliss. So it was all about bounce back. If you do an event, if you do something, we want the bounce back. So let's say you do a local paper voucher. We want the voucher to have something on the voucher that invites the client back into the business. And there's a little code so we can measure that campaign. Is that campaign good? Is it working? Maybe it's a treatment voucher with retail. So I've encouraged a lot of my clients to create some beautiful kind of display with cellophane from the florist, that is really clear cellophane. That's got beautiful comfort zone coffres, and with it, there's also a treatment voucher. So the client can come in and purchase the voucher and the products together. And that makes such a good present, and it actually increases the value of everything. Now, another thing as well is if they do outside events, let's say I had a client who was doing a fashion show with the local kind of businesses. I said to her, just get vouchers out there, put them in the goodie bags. We want the client to come back. So when they create events like that, when your salons and spa creates events, so they want to reach a bigger audience, it always needs to be a reason to come back to the business, whether it's a €10 voucher, whether it's a voucher for complimentary manicure with any facials, anything that works and that is actually measurable. We also focus at the moment in November and December on a gift voucher campaign. I read somewhere in marketing that 4 out of 10 vouchers will be redeemed. So that means that if I have 10 people buying my vouchers, there's 6 of them, I'm just getting the money from it, and they're more than likely to forget about that voucher. So really, there should be a gift voucher campaign, in particular in busy seasons. So if it's not Christmas, it could be your busy seasons. And it doesn't have to be all across the year, because otherwise it becomes a little bit boring and no one does it. But it is a really focused campaign. So at the moment, what we're doing with our clients in spas and salons in the UK, with my clients, any person that purchases a voucher will receive a little voucher for them. So I'm buying you a voucher, I'm receiving a little voucher myself of either €10 or €20 off for January and February, or 10% or 20%. We don't like percentage, but sometimes that works for January and February. So, oh, thank you. I'm buying my friend a voucher, but I'm getting myself a voucher for any treatment throughout January and February. Monday to Friday, you will receive £10 or €10, €20 or percentage off. That is working. And not only I receive that, but the person I'm buying the voucher for also receives a voucher for €10, €20 less, or 20% less for January and February. And that means January and February are really busy in the salons and spas. It's such a good campaign to do. But again, not forever, just for key months of the year. We need to build a bond with Nancy. Nancy's our brand new client, so we need to build that bond, and we really encourage that new welcome pack for clients. Is such an important aspect of welcoming Nancy to the business. You know, we want to focus on loyalty with Branda as well. So I've made every single one of my members focus on what is the customer loyalty, and I want us to revisit it. I want us to make sure that it's correct, it's good, it's on point, we're happy with it. Because at the moment, the client is looking for good, strong businesses, and they want somewhere nice and somewhere that is high-end. So we're getting a lot of new clients through the premises. So we've got to make sure we focus on that loyalty program, whether it's a VIP program, whether it's a membership, whether it's something that really engaging the client. And we want to build flawless data. When I do business audits and I look at the data, and the data is all over the place, there's no email address, we don't have a birthday, so we don't know the birthday date, and that's quite an important one because we can do a campaign around the birthdays. You know, happy birthday, here's 10 euro on us. And we used to do a campaign of happy birthday, here's 15% for the month of your birthday for you and a friend, which is amazing. We always got new client coming in. And we also want to generate a retail strategy 3 months in advance. So at the moment in November, we're talking about January, February, March. We're really thinking in advance. What do we want to launch? What launch is there from the brands? What do we want to happen within the business? How are we going to have to make retail happen? Do we need more training? Do we need to send someone on training? So all of that is very, very, very important. So always think long term, and when you're giving them ideas, is always, always long term, always, always. No questions so far, but do ask me. So we want to create buying opportunities, and that's what we're doing with my members at the moment. You know, we've got little Christmas elves. If it was me, I'll get them to dress up as actual elves with the little green tights and the little hats on, but I think they will not like me very much. So we don't do that, but we have little hats on maybe, and little, you know, kind of a nice necklace, and they're little, they people, they're not elves, they're not real elves, it doesn't necessarily exist, I'm so sorry, but they are people that are helping throughout December when it's really busy. So that's been really quite nice. We've done inviting packages purely for the busy period. For example, not even discounted packages. We've done something called the mani-pedi, hot chocolate mani-pedi, and they get a little hot chocolate with marshmallows, and they also get a little gift from the brands that are using them. So inviting packages are really nice, especially for Christmas time, but they get busy. The salons and spas get busy, so we don't want to discount too much. It's about optimizing every opportunities. We find as well in the UK that a link to charity, whether we've given some kind of money to charity, or we've you know, supported or sponsored a charity event that's happening, is always really, really popular. Online competition is always a must when it comes to online competition. We have one, for example, at the moment with one of my clients where on Instagram, you know, we've got a picture of the product, and the client needs to name what is that product, and if the person, you know, if they like, share and tag other people, they will receive the product themselves, or 5 people will receive the products themselves. We did limit it, otherwise we'll send thousands out. 5 people will receive the product. So it's an online competition. We just want to make it fun. We want retail to be fun. We want retail to be fun for the clients as much as the accounts. It's a big wellness focus at the moment because of the mental health and everyone needing that wellness focus. And what we found is a lot of salons, even compared to spa, actually are busy with massages, are busy with the wellness element. So if we can create packages around wellness and help the salon owners around wellness, and you include retail with that, you know, that is absolutely a fantastic focus for the long term of the client. We want to focus on the expertise of the team. So we're getting the team, for example, to hold a little product, And 12 days before Christmas, this is my favorite products because, and it's a little boomerang or a little reel if the therapist feels comfortable with it, but we're focusing on the expertise. This therapist absolutely love these products, or she's going to buy this code phrase, or she's recommending this code phrase. So we really get them engaged in the expertise for the social media for sure. And we can also conference on Christmas events. We do that, we call them the shopping days. So we do that once or twice before Christmas. And we obviously have Nancy's welcome letter, which I've talked about before, which is so important because it engages Nancy in the long term. So more customer focused events. We've got target marketing evening events. So by target marketing, I get my clients to call, for example, contact the top 50 comfort zone clients that have had a facial with us over the last 6 months or even over the last year. We're going to invite them for a specific event that we're creating. And that things like that is starting because the client wants to reconnect and connect and want that social element to what they do. That is so powerful. As I said, retail shopping events, we got to focus on customer loyalty VIP program. We want to have the top 50 clients and value them with a yearly present. So we've given a few of my members, what they've done is they've given a little, actually a nice product to their top 50 clients, come and collect it before Christmas. This is as a thank you. All this really makes the client feel value and really makes them wanting to purchase from the salon, because it's not just retail on the one side. And we don't, in the Delphos Group, we talk about retail being overlapped, not just one-sided, we must retail. It's everything. It's making that client buy into that culture. Call them now to secure their appointment. There's a sense of urgency. We've done that in October. Get the clients to call. It's getting busy. Every single of my members have literally full diary from November and December because of the Christmas period, because we call them. Give ideas such as the skin gym. Now, I don't necessarily like the word skin gym. I'm not sure I like it, but it suits my members who's done it. We've done another one with another member. It's called the skin journey. And I prefer that because I don't know why I like that word journey. But the skin gym basically is a program that one of my salon has done, and she's basically created a deposit. So you would put €200 deposit and you have 6 months plan with that client. So within that 6 months plan, they get 4 retail products and they get 1 treatment every month. And it's a skin gym, it's a skin journey. It's to get you engaged again once more into the results. We want results with you. Now, she said when she started it, she had 10 people that straight away went onto it because she knew she would get them onto it. And literally a year down the line, she has 50 people bought into this. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but actually it is, because not only she gets that money coming in, so it's a €200 deposit, and after that is €75 every month, but it's more than that because the client buys into the result. They buy into that culture, and not only they're doing that, but on top of that, they're buying products in between for the results of their skin because they're seeing the results. So that has been such a great thing we've implemented into different salons, and it's been slow start, but it really does pick up if the owner is really behind it. And I mean, some of them might not be slow starts. It's a gym word. I'm not sure I like the gym word, but it depends on where they're at. VIP community, again, that's so important to make sure that the client feels values. And we focus a lot on the collaboration with other businesses. To us is very important. So yeah, any questions so far? So we're really looking at the client. I want for Christmas in particular, but again, it can be for any kind of events that you have across the world. We should be revisiting the questions for consultation. Our best Christmas selling cream is, we're making them part of that journey with them. From Nicola Galetti, sorry, how much was it? And what do you get? I missed the detail. Is that for the skin gym, Nicola? I'm assuming. So basically, it was £200 or €200, and they got 4 retail products, and they received 6 treatments, so 1 a month. And 4 retail products, and it's basically a 6 months program. So it's 6 months plan. So for example, here, let's put a comfort zone plan together to achieve the Christmas glow. I mean, I love that. Let's put that together. That's your skin journey. I think she's done, but to be honest with you, Nicola, this is as an example, because you need to do the math, basically. They need to do the math. Obviously, they're getting a little bit cheaper because they're buying into something, so get it cheaper, but it's also valued, if that makes sense. You know, we make sure we don't lose too much, we don't lose any money, we make money and we engage that client. So that's, let's put the comfort zone plan together. For your first treatment with us, and for your one next year, for your next year's treatment, let's look at what we need to do. This is our award combination for the Christmas season. That's my favorite, between retail products and treatment. You know, most of our clients will find that they start with a skin plan now to continue in the new year. That we've got the team in one of my members to actually learn by heart. Most of my clients find that they start with a skin plan now to continue in the new year. You know, invest in your skin for the long term. Stop thinking that the barriers of the anti-aging. Nicola, did that answer your question? I can send you, Nicola, I know who you are. I can send you the detail later for sure. And include the retail in each of the plans or combination. You know, that's where they start really engaging the client for the long term. And if you do it properly, you're really not losing. Ooh, what's happening at reception? We need to look at reception. We really look at the diary management. We look at weekly impulse buys as well over Christmas. Product of the day. We do a product of the day, which is brilliant. It's like an advent calendar. Today, our product is this, you know, the 24 products before Christmas. And we really focus the team on the product of the day. We've got the contact the client list, which I keep saying that, and I will say it again and again. It's been the best form of marketing. Spin the wheel game. One of my clients bought a spinning the wheel on eBay, and she just put some prices on there. And she's going to do a retail shopping day, and they're going to spin the wheel, and the client will win something. Now, I said to her, please make sure everyone wins something, because as a client, you don't want to be a loser and not earn anything. You know, everyone is a winner here. So you've won maybe a little sample, but you've won something, you know. And that was my marketing director used to say to me, look, you don't want to be made feel as a loser at reception. So everyone wins something, even if it's tiny. Nicola, do let me know if I've answered your question. A lucky dip, we love lucky dip, and that is actually really good to do also online. So lucky dip will be a bowl with lots of envelopes at reception level. And thank you. Within the bowl, you've got little envelope, golden envelopes. In the envelopes, you've got, you want a complimentary manicure. You want a product from Comfort Zone. You want, you know, so it can be 4 big prizes and it can be small prizes. You want a sample. Again, you're not a loser. You're always going to be a winner. But the lucky dip makes it fun, makes it engaging for the client. You can throw free products on there. You can do a nice winner hamper competition, and you can bring that online as well. You know, all of this gives them idea to give more. When I talk about the buzz in retail, that's what I want to say, you know, rebooking incentive for 2022. I mean, that to me is just rebook. It's all about rebooking. I don't care if you're telling me that 50% of your clients are booking online, you're still going to ask every single one of them, because otherwise it's that mindset of not asking the client, but we need to engage the client for the long term. You know, stocking fillers ideas are very important. You know, the owners are really struggling with ideas. Well, what ideas? I constantly get emails. What can I get for stocking fillers? What do you think? Give them ideas. Give them ideas. Don't assume they know, because it's most of the time they don't have the time to know. So very important. So that's reception. I can go on and on about reception a lot, but in terms of your staff as well, and engaging them, there is from pyramid to start chart. So we love pyramids, and we love kind of getting the girls to put that in the we put that in the staff room, and we do a pyramid per person, and every time they sell something, they tick it, and they put they put the date on there, so we can check if they've definitely sold it. So pyramids is really good because it focuses the girls. We've done one not long ago with a team, and it sounds really basic, but it really worked. It was a start chart. It was basically a piece of paper with everyone's name, and every time they sold something, they would put a gold star. I mean, you're talking children activity here, but they loved it. They had a bit of a competition between them. It was really fun. Now, you do need to ask if everybody is okay to do that for GDPR purposes, I should add, which is a little bit ridiculous, but for GDPR, you have got to ask if everyone is okay to do that, apparently. So the start charts, you've got the pyramid, you've got games such as, really popular, it's called Chase the £10 or Chase the €10, or you could do €20, even better. So throughout the day, let's say you choose a Saturday when he's busy, and the team seems to really like it. Now, they like it once or twice. After a while, it gets a bit boring, but so that's why you need to give the owner loads of ideas to generate that retail culture. So every time someone sells something, they keep the 20 quid or the £10 or the €10. And then the next person sells something, she takes it. Then the next person sells something, she's the one who gets it. Then the next person sells something, oh, she gets it. So basically, it's at the end of the day, the person who's left with the £20 keeps the £20 or the €20. It's called Chase the 20 quid. We actually call it Chase the tenner, and it really, really works. It's just a really good fun to do every now and then. We've got another one where one of my clients lives in the north of England, and they love Louboutin shoes. So we've drawn for 3 shoes, and every time they earn commission from selling the products, they write down how much they earned. Now, it's taken them 6 months to do something like £600 worth of commission, or €600 worth of commission, but by the end the client say, well done, you've earned your Louboutin shoes. So one of them has done it, the other 2 are almost there to earn their Louboutin shoes, and they love it because they don't get the money into their account because sometimes they don't see it. They can see it, they can visualize it, and it gives them something different to talk about. So yeah, just giving loads of ideas. That's what the owners want. Loads and loads and loads of ideas of incentives is very, very important. Now, focus time, and I'm aware of the time, talking about focus time. I want to talk to you about the Sublime Cream a little bit, because when we were talking with a lovely comfort zone team, obviously for me, it's all about things like the Sublime Cream and the launch of the Sublime Cream. And I see it in some of the accounts that I look after. Oh, we've got this new cream, we've just put it on the shelf. And it's kind of no thought process around it, and no thought process around what to do to engage that cream further. So we want to do, if there is a launch like the Sublime Cream, so this is away from Christmas, by the way, I'm starting to talk about something else. I'm aware of the time, so I talk a lot, so do please let me know if you've got any question. But when it comes to the Sublime Cream or anything that you have, actually, I've got a question to ask you before I go to the Sublime Cream. See, I'm so in a hurry. I'm so sorry, my lovely technical people. I have completely forgotten. From pyramid to start chart, we've got a question to ask you. Can you create a list of ideas of incentive for the owners? Yes, it's a good idea. No, I haven't thought about it. Or perhaps I can think about it for next time. Do let me know if you have thought about creating a list of incentive for owners. It's so important. But going back to this Sublime Cream, you know, I want to make sure that we launch it properly. And I think a lot of time what I'm seeing from the brand's perspective, so it's not necessarily you particularly, but I wanted to put this point across, because when we talk about 2022 and the new year, and let's say the launch of a cream, you know, I feel that we're not looking at the 360 launch, and the salon owner or the spa owner needs that 360 approach. Why do they take me as a coach? Is because they don't have that 360 approach. They are so into the operation, they can't think of anything else. They need that support. Thank you so much for the answer to the question. Yes, a good idea. No, I haven't thought about it. So 64% thought it was a good idea, and perhaps I can. And 36% of you thought you could think of something after the training. Amazing! I'm telling you, as many support you can give them and ideas. Because I've just said for the Sublime Cream, for example. As an example, you know, when we're talking, okay, we've had this recent launch in terms of the Sublime Cream. I've seen it again and again. It just sits on the shelf. You know, I came into an account, I was like, okay, so did we talk about this in marketing? Oh, no, well, we just put it on the shelf. Right, so who knows about it? My top 20 clients. Okay, great. So did they buy it? No, because they wouldn't, because they're already on a program, so they don't need the cream right now. So the launch goes flat. So we need to think for 2022 slightly differently, and for the launches where we support that owner, just like I've just given you the idea of the incentive, we support that owner into thinking of a launch at 360 degree. You know, we're going to do an incentive for the cream, for the team, and also incentivize the individual as well. So there's a group incentive, but there's also an individual incentive. We're going to do a product knowledge quiz. We're going to create a role play with game and questionnaires, and also score them and give them feedback and give a buzz around that. We're going to do targeted consultation purely for the Sublime Cream. We're going to build experts. If you've got a comfort zone therapist that's been with the salon owner or the spa owner for a long time and she loves comfort zone, we should build her even more as that expert and focus on her, because the expertise is what's going to make a difference from me as a client going to that expert compared to having just a basic facial like I did the other day, if that makes sense. You know, we want to support that launch on the 360 marketing, 360 degree marketing. If you've noticed, I have the 360 retail and I have the 360 marketing, because I always find as a consultant when I go in, I'm sure you're finding that as BDMs, also as you know, distributors and subsidiary. You know, I feel that, you know, the owner looks at a one-sided way of doing things because they are so into what their day-to-day. They just can't think further. So when we look at the preparation for the marketing, for me, preparation is key. You know, we're going to talk about it 3 months in advance. We're going to look at the windows, the room, the merchandising, the social media, the email, the marketing, the VIP event, the client list. We're going to look at the budget for the team to try the cream. Now, I used to be so good at budgeting my stock, you know, that actually I had enough money to buy the cream for everybody. Now, if we can negotiate that with the salon owner, at least they're trying it and they can talk about it. You know, training secured. We're going to try one-to-one or different teams. Now, I had a supplier who used to come to Bliss, and she used to, instead of seeing the team together, she used to do one-to-one training for half an hour with the team. Now, I actually preferred it in a way because I didn't have to close at all, and the salon was still open, the spa was still opened, so I preferred it. And the girls loved it because they had that one-to-one attention. So she really grew each of them purely by that one-to-one attention. Now, I wouldn't do that to every single account. You're probably thinking, I can't do that with every account. But definitely the big ones, or the ones that have potential, is something to bear in mind. You know, reception training. I want to do the quiz. I want to do videos, ideas for social. I want to showcase my expertise via all sorts of communication, you know, social media, that should be there. I want to have a management incentive, because remember, retail happens if the managers and the owners are really engaged with it. So maybe we give them a target that's separate from the team's target, and they have something to do in order to grow the business. Don't forget the managers. They're the ones that are pushing the girls behind, because they could get an incentive. We're going to create a buzz for the launch as well, and we're going to create also a little newsletter, which to me is really, really important. That newsletter that is, you know, I had my rep who used to write down everything about it, and then everything about the creams that was going to be launched, and then I used to take that information and put it into, you know, my newsletter for my clients. But I used to get her to help me to make sure that newsletter made sense and was engaging. So when we focus our accounts, and I'm conscious of the time, so I'm talking very fast, and I'm hoping everyone can understand me and hear me. And I know there is a lovely translator for Germany, and I'm so sorry if I'm talking very fast. So hopefully all is okay. Do give me a thumbs up and do ask me any question. But that was for the Sublime Cream. Because if you think about it, I didn't want to just talk about retail culture purely on the perspective of the therapist. I want us to talk about retail culture through all those points, because all those points are going to make a huge difference for the culture that we want to install in 2022. And I have members that have been working with me for 3, 4, 5 years. I've just spoken to one of them who has achieved 50%, which is a phenomenal 50%. What do you call increase? Profit. That's the word. 50% profit is the word. I'm so sorry. I've had a very long day of talking, but she's also on 30% retail rate. When I first started with her, she was on 5% retail rate. So 5% of the revenue was purely what she sold on products. Now we're on 30% of the revenue is what she sells. And on top of that, she's making 50% profit on everything. Everything. It seemed phenomenal. Why? Because the culture of expertise, the culture of the client, when we launch something, we think of it properly. She's really, really focused on what to do. So it's important to think of retail on the 360 angle rather than a one-sided approach. Yeah. So focus your account for 2022. No questions so far. We okay? We still with me? Still got 10 minutes. I'm on it. And we are almost there. I like the idea of individual development plans. I actually don't like the idea. I love and live by the idea of individual development plans. I've done individual development plans with every single one of my team, and I do them with every single one of my clients, my members. We have individual development plans that are really engaging for each individual. And it should be a focus for each individual. We should be focusing on, you know, how to individualize and motivate them purely for what they want. So one thing that my accounts do is, for example, for the incentive, they do a wish list. And the wish list is, okay, so if you earn 10 euro, what would you want to earn? Oh, I'd like to earn money, or I'd like to earn a voucher from the local patisserie because I love their cake, or I'd love to earn a voucher from somewhere else. Okay, if you earn £20 as an incentive, or 20 euro as an incentive, what would you want to earn? Oh, I'd like cash, or I would like to have a voucher from the department store next door. You know, we ask them what they want. If you earn €100 incentive, what would you want? Oh, I would love to have comfort zone products, for a basket of comfort zone products, so I can, you know, use them and give some to my friend. So it's all about individualized incentive, motivating. So the wish list have been brilliant, brilliant, brilliant for all the accounts, because they feel really that it's me, that when you do an incentive, it's actually personal to me, that I'm going to earn something that I want to earn. We talk about the products per weeks rather than percentages. Well done, you sold 3 products this week. Well done, you sold 4 next week. It's amazing. So we talk about products per week. So when they sell something, it's product per week. For those therapists that are not so strong at selling, that's the best language to use. For the ones that know their sales, they want to talk percentage and they know what's happening with their cash. Review monthly, we're going to encourage weekly. We're going to have figures to send to you so we can define a training plan, focus on their growth. That is such a key thing. So, for example, I have 2 of my members, 3 of their who are sending me their individual teams results. And what I do with that is we define a training plan for each of them. We see how can we grow them, basically. We really focus them on the growth. So the more we focus on individual, the more we can grow them. It's a little bit like if you're at school and you are very good at something and everyone else is not so good, so you're a little bit bored, isn't it? Because you just know all the answers. So you want to make sure that we individualize the performance of each therapist, for sure. So when it comes to marketing strategy for 2022, and I wanted to talk to you about the marketing strategy because to me, once more, it's one of the biggest challenges that the salon owner have or the spa owner have. In spa, it's even worse because it takes 3 months to change a poster every now and then when you have a big group. So, and unless the marketing people are behind you, it can be difficult. So it's one of the biggest challenge. And why? Because they're craving ideas. There's a lack of time. There's a little bit unfocused when it comes to marketing. We just kind of do very much mix with other brands. So Comfort Zone is getting mixed with other brands. We're not really focusing on the Sublime cream that's launched, for example, or the Christmas coffrets that we're getting in, Christmas gifts, because it's mixed with everything else. There's a bit of a lack of creativity, I feel, with marketing sometimes. We've seen it, done it, and seen it all. And a salon owner will do very much lastminute.com. That's the bottom line. At the moment, I'm very rarely seeing a conscious effort of marketing. When we talk about the retail 360-degree, like I did last time with you, I said to you, retail happens when there's a customer journey, the manager, the staff, the reception, the merchandising, and the marketing involved. So we have to have all those 6 elements of the retail for them to work in the spa or salon environment. And that's why I want to talk to you about retail, about marketing, because marketing plan will define everything. It'll entice the client to the spa or the salon. It'll encourage the loyalty. It will find the unique selling point, the USP, and make it even bigger. Create the brand as a salon rather than, just a salon. It's like a brand. The salons are now brands. The spas are now brands. More, they're beyond what they are. It creates a buzz around the offerings. It brings retail alive, which is even more important. It creates that buzz. And marketing is possibly the only thing that engages the owners when it comes to marketing. When it comes to marketing, the owners are the only ones that, oh yeah, I'm listening. And you'll notice that if you go into spa meetings, marketing is the only thing they're interested in because they constantly want that engagement of their clients, for sure. So for 2022, when it comes to Comfort Zone, we've got a marketing activity. It's back to basic. There are fewer launches, but to me, there's far more impact. And the impact is because we are able to launch it properly, just like I've shown you. We've thought about it 360. We don't just, oh, here's a new product, here's a new product. I think sometimes that actually confuses everything and everybody. But a marketing plan executed really well gives a chance to retail even more. When we did the marketing at Bliss, for example, we had a new brand, a new product coming in. We were working on that for 3 months. We had influencers coming in to try the products. We gave it to some of the press. We had literally every single aspect, and it got a chance to actually make a huge impact in not only the product, the spa, but also the numbers, the figures, and the loyalty around that product. We created a buzz. We even had our top clients coming in to try the products and purchase the products a week before everyone else. They loved it. They felt so special. Your role, if you remember from the last training, is to teach, tailor, and take control. Teach them something new. tailor the offering and take control of the support that you want to give them. The more you support them as a coach, as a support, as looking and supporting them as ideas, as entity, the more they will be able to implement what you want them to implement. But if we look at it on the basic, let's get the retail training up, and we forget about the other aspect of retail, you will find that it's a battle, and it's a constant battle. And why my client is doing, twice the amount of money she used to do in terms of profit, and literally on a huge 30% of retail sales, is because we've looked at all of the angles, is because I've taught her something new, is because I've taken control of what she needed, because I've realized actually a lot of them are not able to see anymore. They are too much into their business. So when we coach the spa and the salon, we've got a yearly training plan. We individualize the training. We encourage the best sellers. We develop the weaker ones with fun activity, with quizzes, we've done one not long ago with question and answers, with role plays, with we had one where there was a hat, and we put all different scenarios, and they picked up from the hat, and they needed to say how they would sell the product. All of this is making it fun. Basically, we focus on their customer journey, and the consultation training is constant. It's not stopped, it's constant, and they don't give you excuses. You constantly on that training of the development. And this is something that I say, retail is simply fun, interactive, loving, and so easy when encouraged the right way. Love retail, and retail will love you back. That is my say. So one more question. How helpful was the training? Not so much helpful, super, with loads of key takeaways. We just want to know what you felt with the training. Obviously, you can find me at thedelphosgroup.co.uk or at the Delphos Group on social media, and you can also find me on the online retail training available, and you can email us at support@thedelphosgroup.co.uk. But do let me know how the training was. It'd be really interesting to see what you thought. I wanted to pack it with more than the retail training. As I said, the merchandising is very important, the marketing is hugely important, that thought process of how you can support them, whether it's for Christmas or whether it's for beyond Christmas 2022. Do not underestimate that. Do not underestimate that. They are searching for help. They crave that idea, the ideas. They crave it. So do let me know how you enjoyed the training. Thank you very much, Matteo. It's been one of those technical things. Okay, 25% helpful and 75% super, with loads of key takeaway. I'm so delighted to hear that. Thank you so much, so much. I really appreciate it. I'm just going to wait a little bit to see if you have got any questions. Matteo can let me know. Lovely technical comfort zone team can let me know. Very patient today, I have to say. You're always patient, to be fair, but it's been a lot of technical things that we had to put in place, but it's so delightful to see you all, or to speak to you all. But do ask me any question right now before I let you off. And I wanted to make sure I wasn't over the time, because I know what it's like when it's too long, because I can't talk what we say in England. I can talk for England. I'm French, and especially when it comes to retail, because it's just my passion, and we've seen it again and again. The results that we've got are incredible, purely by the support. We have another client who has one of my members who started with 2%. I mean, it's hardly, actually she has comfort zone, and she's now on 12%. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a huge jump to go from 3% to 12%. And what had happened, let me tell you what happened with her, is that I've still got a couple of minutes left if you're still here. But what happened with her is that basically she broke her foot. and she, unfortunately, and she had, time in the morning. And I said to her, look, Julia, you have got to sit down and look at opportunities for the day, own the day, get the therapist to think about their column. It's so important. So while she had her foot broken, she sat in the morning an hour. At the beginning, it took her a couple of hours, and then it only took her an hour as she got quicker. And she said, Valerie, I sit in the morning at 7 o'clock, I look at the column and I analyze every single client, and I send them, the team, an Excel spreadsheet with comments of every single client on their every single column. And she said, I've realized these clients that hadn't bought stuff for a long time. I realized these clients we haven't seen for a long time. She really opened her eyes to what was going on with her clients. And she sends the Excel spreadsheet. So this client came in 3 months ago. She has bought a cleanser, and she's obviously very dry. She's had the same treatment for 5 years. So she literally gives them, spoon feed them the information of the client. And it lasted for three months, and the retails really went up. And why? Because the team was ultra focused, and she had time to analyze what was going on into the column. And that's my little success story, because I think that is something we've told her again and again. We were engaged with her for a whole year. We did the retail training. It's not really happening, kind of went up a little bit. That's because she was reticent to look at the retail on all the 360-degree angle. She was very much focused on much more on what was going on with the day-to-day rather than anything else. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nicola. Thank you so much, Barbara. Jimmy, thank you. So good to see you all. Super, Valerie. Thank you, Elena. And Jera, thank you. I will love you and leave you, and obviously any comment, do send us our way. We will be delighted to answer them, and we are looking forward to the next time. See you all soon.